Hi, I'm Sifu Kuttel, and in this video I would like to make a uniform recommendation for you for Tai Chi practice, as well as give you my criteria for what I look for in a uniform, so that you can also find the right uniform for you. When it comes to choosing an ideal Tai Chi uniform, I have two very simple pieces of criteria. The first and foremost is it needs to be something that allows movement and is non-restrictive. So you can see with this Tai Chi uniform, it's very baggy and loose, but you can find sometimes that even an appearing baggy or loose uniform may have some catch points that restrict around the armpits, could be tight in the sleeve around the elbow, and so on. You want to be able to have lots of movement as you're turning, as you're twisting, as you're extending. So it has to be able to move with your body and keep things feeling natural. The second piece of criteria is something that is lightweight. Now, I know this is pretty trivial when it comes to Tai Chi uniforms. You can wear whatever you want to wear. If you go outside and it's cold, you want to wear something a little bit heavier, that's fine. But when it comes to regular practice, indoors, in a controlled environment, I prefer something that's lightweight because I want to make sure that it doesn't change how I move. I don't want to try to position myself to hold the uniform up, so to speak. While moving slow, it should be something that is light and allows me to move freely as possible. Now, this particular uniform that I'd like to recommend comes from DragonSports.EU, and this is the custom Tai Chi top. Now, you can get this Tai Chi top in any kind of color you want. They do have some listed on their site for a little bit less, but if you want to have the custom decision of your base color and your trim color, this is the way to go. And I like this one so much that I actually have 3 versions of this uniform. Now, one of the things that you might notice right away is the sizing system. And if you look at it in terms of small, medium, large, extra large, you may look at the US to European to even Chinese sizing, because it is based more on a Chinese size. So for example, I wear a large shirt, but this is a XXL Tai Chi uniform top. And they make it a lot easier, so you don't have to think about how to size up. You don't have to jump up 3 or 4 sizes. What you can do is it's based off of height. And in looking at the site, you can actually get this for a child as well up to an adult over 6 feet tall. So there's a lot of uniform options here. And as you can see, it does meet my criteria. It's a lightweight type of fabric, as well as it allows movement and it's non-restrictive. Now, one of the important things when it comes to a Tai Chi uniform, and you'll notice it's very baggy and long, and this is something I find also an important piece when you're looking at the details, is right here you're going to have this open seam, and the top of this seam should never go up to your waistline or your hip line. So this should always be below where your sash is on your uniform if you wear a sash, or below your waistband on your pants. It should never go up above that, even when extending the arms up. So that's something that I use also as well when looking at specific sizing. This type of uniform already meets that. It is quite long, it is quite baggy, and the nice thing is here it does have cuffs that are secured with both the frog loop button as well as a little bit of Velcro. So this keeps the uniform from sliding up and past your hand as an open cuff would. And it also can be easily opened if your hands are bigger when you need to fit through the sleeve. Now, the last thing is we do have the frog loop button design. There is an interlocking version as well, but that's typically done for other styles. For Tai Chi, it's typically this frog loop system, which makes it very easy to put on and take off. Usually I will leave the top button undone, so I can just slip this over my head like a regular shirt, and then I'll button that last button up. Now, color-wise, because this is the custom Tai Chi uniform, I do want to mention that the colors options available are actually very accurate. So I've ordered 3 uniforms. My red uniform is exactly the same color as displayed on the site. This greenish blue uniform is exactly the same on the site, as well as the dark blue. And I stuck with the white trim, but you're able to select what color you would like for that trim as well. I just like how this shows when I'm doing it, and when I'm demonstrating the forms, it's very visible, so you can see where the center line is. Now again, I highly recommend this. This lists at $45 US, and they ship worldwide. So it's very convenient for me here in Europe, but if you're living in the United States, depending on the shipping, this can actually also be quite affordable. So keep that in mind. The only other thing to remember is, because it is a custom uniform, depending on the color and your trim design, it will take a little bit longer than some of the other uniforms that are available on their website, which I'd recommend that you check out as well. Maybe you will find the colors that you want. If they're more of the basic black and white or white and black, you'll be able to find that a little bit faster. But again, I highly recommend this. These are my favorite uniforms for Tai Chi practice. They meet that criteria that I look for. I hope you enjoyed this video. I would love to hear your thoughts on this, what you look for in a uniform. Do you like the criteria that I have, or do you have some more things that are more specific in what you like to wear? Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next.